Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to The Last of Us Episode 7. This will be my review. Of course, we will talk full spoilers for this episode review because, well, there's really nothing to talk about that isn't spoilers, quite frankly. This whole episode was an emotional back builder, leading forwards for more things, I guess you could say. Now, I understand the reason why they do episodes like this. Some people have sort of quantified it and chalked it up down to like a filler episode, but I would say that to me it's not, generally speaking, I understand why they do them. This one just didn't hit me on the level that it should have done. It did by the end, to a degree-ish, but getting there was a real slog. I got really bored, genuinely bored during this episode. It's not that engaging watching two children be a bit petulant and argue and stuff. There needed to be a little bit more there to draw me in. I kind of checked out a little bit, but by the end, there was a sort of emotional prang. I was like, oh, okay, cool. I can kind of see where they're going with this, but they could have got there a bit quicker and been a bit more adept at it. So, what was this episode about? Well, it's a backstory builder for Ellie. One, how she got her initial bite. Two, her sort of falling in love with Riley, and apparently these scenes are taken directly from the game. So, I'm not going to rip on it too much. I think some of the cinematography was very well made, but on a whole, it was just really slow and very unnecessary. And it's interesting as well because the thing is, a lot of it doesn't go anywhere. We open the episode, we've got obviously Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey, Ellie and Joel. Joel is essentially dying. Ellie pulls him into a house to try to save his life. That picks up directly off from the last one. He's like, just go, just go, just go. She's like, no, I'm not going. She then has a flashback. Ooh, flashback. And then she's running around an auditorium, a fitness hall, and some other girls pick on her. I don't want to have a fight. You're not going to have a fight because your friend's not here anymore. They then get in a scuffle. She's taken to Fedra's officer, and gets a stern talking to. And he's like, you've got two paths. You can be a grunt or you can become an officer. Which one it'll be? She's like, well, an officer, obviously. My life would be better. And then she goes back to sleep that evening, and Riley, her friend who had vanished, sneaks into her bedroom and says, come out with me. Spend one night here, come out with me. Reveals that she's joined the Fireflies and she's going to be leaving Boston that night. That's her final night. And then she's going to be going off to somewhere else. I may have got some of the names around the wrong way, but still, regardless. Then they spend a night in the mall, having fun. Ellie wants to kiss her, but doesn't. Eventually does, and you're like, oh, okay, cool, whatever. And then a clicker comes in, or a cordyceps monster comes and bites both of them. And then that leads off to essentially Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey, Joel, and Ellie sewing Joel up to try to save his life, and that's the sort of emotional prang at the end. She doesn't want to lose anyone else. It shows how she got her initial bite, and obviously from there, I would imagine her friend / love interest dies, and so on and so forth. But a few things to me was that it was very slow. It took ages to get anywhere, and the dialogue is really difficult to write dialogue for kids because kids are inherently annoying anyway. And sure, if you've got kids, fine. Your kids are great, I'm sure. You tell yourself that. But kids are inherently annoying, and listening to them talk to one another is inherently annoying. They don't know anything about the world, and they are just irritating. So the dialogue was pretty poor and didn't really pull me in. And then there's so much just nonsense going on. I'm just watching this backwards and forwards, like, oh, she wants to kiss her, oh, but she doesn't, oh, she wants to kiss her, but she doesn't. And it's just like, for goodness sake, just do something. Get somewhere. I understand the slow build. I understand the purpose of these kind of episodes, but it just did not grab me one bit until the very end. And that's not how this kind of episode should be structured. It's not how it should hit anyone. It should hit people a bit better than that. And I just felt it was a really, really piss poor use of an episode because we don't have many left. And then what? Are we done? That's crap. Not only that, it leaves more questions than it does answers. Why, when your love interest joined the Fireflies and is basically, they are the root cause of her dying, are you so happy to work with the Fireflies? Sure, you could cure everyone, but that would still hold a weight over you. You would still want to explore other avenues where you don't have to work directly with the organisation that led to your life being ruined and twisted upside down. You wouldn't have even been bitten if it wasn't for the Fireflies. Do you see what I mean? So these kind of things leave so many more questions than they do answer them. And it's quite unfortunate when that happens, because it just means that it's a really poorly structured episode. And again, I can't help but think, you don't have many episodes left. What are you doing? You could have, half of this episode could have been this flashback, and then half the episode, the other half, could have been continuing the story forwards and developing the story and getting somewhere a bit quicker. You know, actually progressing onwards. The problem is that you spent a whole episode on this, and it didn't need to be a whole episode. It could have been condensed into half of the episode. Then you would have progressed the story onwards. I think the emotional impact would have been exactly the same. Personally, looking at it, I don't look at any of this and go, that has to be done in a feature-length episode. None of this had to have been done in a feature-length episode. Again, it could have, you can drag it out, but then you bore people, and that's what happened to me personally. Was I ended up getting pretty bored. You know, I just want to have a nap. I'm tired, and I just checked out because it was disengaging, because it was a bit boring. Cinematography is great, the music's great, everything else is pretty great. I'm getting a little bit annoyed with the weird shaky camera though. I don't know if anyone else is getting a bit annoyed with that, but the shaky camera is starting to piss me off. But outside of that, it was fine. It's probably one of the worst episodes of the season thus far, I think, personally. Could be wrong, but that's my opinion. What do you guys think? Have you seen it? Let me know down below. Love to hear any and all of your thoughts. Please do hit subscribe, turn the bell notifications on. But that's realistically it. There's not much else to go into. Nothing else really happened. Obviously, by the end of the episode, she's sewing him up and somehow it's going to fix him. I just thought to myself, why don't you just burn something and cauterize the wound and then sew it up? Or, like, there's still a hole there that's bleeding. So the internal organs and guts are not in a good shape. So you'd think you'd fix whatever. Anyway, I just think they wasted time. I don't know. They don't have many episodes left. Where are they going to go with this? Anyway, let me know what you think. Love to hear it. Cheers, ladies and gents. Take care.